4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Marketing Minutes brought to you by 3T Academy. I'm your host, Billy, and I'll be taking you through today's top market stories and analysis. Today's show is proudly hosted by Double Bottom Traders. We bring you the latest in trading strategies and techniques. Before we get into this crazy market, man, we're going to need some words and motivation. So every day we go to Lady A and try to get some motivation. What you got for us today, fam?
All right. This morning's quote from March 28 is, "Keep your face to the sunshine, and then you cannot see your shadow."
I want to say this, man. This has been coming up through my my spiritual journey and my walk with God. For a long time, people told us that we had to bow our head and close our eyes in order for us to talk to our Father. Me being a father now, I think that's totally backwards, because when I'm having a conversation with my son, I never want my son to bow his head in front of me. I want him to be a man and look me in my eyes and my face when I talk to him, whether it's good, bad, ugly, sad, a lesson, love, whatever it is. I want my son to look at me. So now when I pray and I have those moments, man, I lift my head and I open my eyes to see everything that's going on. And then the other part is of that is, April's talked about it before, is, sun gazing. They tell us not to look into the sun. In all actuality, you're supposed to go in the mornings and, have your eyes look at the sun. It heals your body. So yeah, just went into that off that. That was a good one, man. That was a real good one.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you about it's bowing your head as a submissive piece. And it's not that we're being disobedient to God, but we want to look up to him. So looking up and open your eyes, open your hands and receive what he has to give to you.
Yeah.
And be that light that he shines down on you so others can see your light.
I challenge everyone to put your Bible to the side, not throw it away. You need the Bible. Put your Bible to the side and describe, without using the words in the Bible and other people's relationship, describe your relationship with your Father. You can describe your relationship with your mother, your sister, your brother, even friends on here. I can describe a relationship with, and that changed the game for me. That made me go and have a personal relationship. Yeah, all right. Now we'll get into trading, fam. Welcome to church, everybody. If you haven't joined, I'm Pastor Billy. Definitely not. That was sacrilegious. Definitely not a pastor. All right, let's get into it. Let's have some fun today, man. So the first thing we're going to get into is the fear and greed index. Let me share my screen. Finally, after probably a year and a half of doing this, I've learned how to share my screen without being told to share my screen. All right, so the fear and greed index, it says a 36, and I'm going to refresh it just to make sure, because I believe it's what we had yesterday. Yeah, so we're at a 36, man. We're right in that fear area. Not going to be a lot of pumping in the market. It's going to kind of move sideways for a little bit. We might get some shifts up and down every now and then. But just remember, if you're in a trade, take your profits. Do not think everything is going to be a squeeze play, a continuation play, or a breakout play. If you see it and it happens, take your profits. Now let's go check out FinViz and kind of see what the actual overall market is doing. So you can see the Dow is up 194 points, the Nasdaq's down 55, and the S&P 500 is down 6. And yesterday when we were talking about the market, we said it hit those highs and it was going to come back and test that support. Tested that support, did not like it, and cranked all the way back down. So now what we're going to see is, are these levels going to hold down here? Like the Nasdaq, the 11,750, it's bounced. Had a doji star, bounced once, twice, 3, 4 times on this 11,750. We wicked down to that 11,750. So we'll see if we're just going to hold there or if we'll have a continuation breakdown. So our main plays that we're going to look for today is going to be the break of resistance and then the break of support, and see what we can make in there. Now let's go check out. Yeah, let's read the morning squad, and then we'll get into some XRP news from my XRP expert. All right, morning squad, rolling along. 3 major U.S. stock indices finished up mostly higher today. The Dow jumped more than 190 points, and the S&P 500 increased slightly. Indeed, 8 of the 11 S&P sectors finished the day higher. Regional bank stocks surged after weeks of turmoil and losses, as prospects for further government help, if needed, look stronger. Tech dragged on things, though, as the Nasdaq finished down 0.47% on Wednesday. Investors will hear from Michael Barr, the Federal Reserve's Vice Chairman for Supervision, who will discuss the recent bank sector volatility, including the failure of Silicon Valley Bank in the Senate hearing. We knew those were coming. You can't raise interest rates like that and not expect banks who have been buying longer than 10-year treasury bonds that are going to make it, man. Simple math says that ain't going to work. Disney layoffs begin. We've been talking about this since mid to last quarter of last year about the job layoffs that were going to have to come. There's just no way around it. So Disney layoff begins. Disney CEO Bob Iger told employees that company planned layoffs would begin this week. Overall, the company aims to cut 7,000 jobs across its operation as it looks to shed more than $5 billion in cost. This week brings the first of 3 rounds of layoffs. The second round of layoffs in April, Iger said in a memo, will be bigger. The company hopes to wrap up the job cuts with a 3rd round before summer. He added, since Iger returned in November, he has reorganized Disney into 3 segments, including designated ESPN as its own unit, and suggested he's open to selling the company's majority stake in Hulu as a part of the push to focus more Disney core family-oriented brands. Excuse me. It's just another one in the list, man. And there's gonna be more coming, unfortunately. Unless they the only thing that I can see to even possibly turn this around is, we start producing oil again and start putting that out. Otherwise, there really is nothing else if they take us off the petrodollar. Can't really stop the interest rates because you're trying to bring down inflation, but we're raising interest rates. Some people are still getting jobs. These job numbers have to come back around. Unfortunately, people have to lose their jobs in order for them to stop raising the interest rates. Because if they don't, now that they turn on the printing machine, if you thought inflation was bad before, you've never seen hyperinflation. It's going to be a mess. Next one, isn't it easy being CZ? Federal regulators on Monday accused mega crypto exchange Binance and its CEO of violating rules designed to crack down on money laundering and financing for terrorists. That's just the most idiot statement. The complaint from the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission is the latest blow to the overall crypto industry in the following the scandal-ridden collapse of FTX late last year. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ, disputed the CFTC's accusations, saying his company has complied with U.S. authorities. On Twitter, he called Binance clients and followers to disregard development as fake news. Man, I don't know if y'all seen that trial or them questioning him. That dude, he did really good, man, compared to all these other idiots that's been on there. But there's no way I can trust that first statement that federal regulators are cracking down on money laundering and financing for terrorists. They need to flip that around a little bit because we've been funding our own shit since forever. Here's a big one. Alibaba splits up. Chinese tech giant Alibaba said Tuesday it plans to split into 6 distinct businesses. That is big. Each of which will have the ability to raise funding and explore initial public offerings. There it is. It is the most dramatic change for Alibaba in its history and has triggered a jump in the company's stock. The reorganization comes amid signs that the Chinese government is again warming up to the country's technology industry as it faces increasingly heated rhetoric and competition from the US. The 6 units will each have their own executive leadership, will be Cloud Intelligence Group, Taobao, Small Commerce Group, Local Services Group. I hate that I'm destroying these names. Kainao, Smart Logistics, Global Digital Commerce Group, and the Digital Media and Entertainment Group. That's going to be huge. And that's going to, the fact that they're splitting that up is going to make them so much more valuable as a whole and give them a lot of room. The tanks are arriving. Ukraine started receiving shipments of tanks from Germany and the United Kingdom just as President Volodymyr Zelensky's forces prepare for a large counteroffensive. The country's military has been fighting a bloody battle, attrition in certain pockets of eastern Ukraine, holding Russian forces and mercenaries at bay. Elsewhere, Belarus leadership explained why they agreed to host Russian tactical nuclear weapons, accusing NATO of coercive economic and political measures surrounding the Ukraine war. Yeah, man, that war is so full of shit. Well, we won't get into that because we're here to make money. We're not going to go over politics. But since we are talking about politics, we've been talking about banks and all the crazy shit. We might as well let my boy Kyle come in here and educate us on some XRP. What's going on with XRP right now, my friend?
Hey, how's it going? So, all right. right now we're at a major resistance level. It looks like we're getting ready to break through this. We tested it last week, sitting here at 49 cents. If we can get through the 49 cents on the daily and get above that, we're going to be testing smaller resistance levels will be 51 cents, then 53 cents. Then we're going to be approaching the 55 cents, which we got rejected at back in October of last year. So that's a major resistance line right there. But if we can get through that, then we're heading to 70 cents, in my opinion. And then on the next one would be 86 cents from there. It looks like it's starting to form a double bottom, which started at 86 cents. And then so it's possible that we can get back up to 86 cents. So those are just major levels that I would look at right now.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I can't wait for XRP to bang finally. I'll be happy if it gets back to $1. I'll be rich, bitch. Joke. Total joke. Okay, y'all ready? We're gonna have the advanced U.S. trade balance goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, and the FHFA home price index. I just didn't know if maybe you'd heard of it. Yeah, the ones that I'm gonna look for is U.S. Consumer confidence. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Sales, and then the other big one is going to be initial jobless claims, and that's going to tell us how the market's going to react and where they're going to go with inflation from
Yeah,
there.
I mean, home sales are down. It says right there, down 3%, I think.
Yeah, my house dropped. I think the last 8 months, it's probably dropped 30,000.
Yeah, like last August, we sold Lori's mom's house actually last July, and that thing dropped about. I don't think we could have got the price today, probably maybe 30 grand less, so values are coming down a bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so I thought I had my Thinkorswim logged in, but I didn't. So I'm logging in right now, and then we'll go over the SPY real quick.
Billy, I just want to add that the dollar is still dropping.
What's it
It's
drop?
it's down to 102.45.
The dollar is so bad that we're going to end up owing people money if we hold it. Like if you hold that, you got to pay me.
Gonna get
Yeah.
way worse.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get real ugly, bro. Real ugly. All right.
It's coming up to a support line, so that that's our inverse indicator for stocks and everything else going on. But yeah, long term, I was just doing some long-term TA on it, and we've got a trend line that goes back to 1984.
Nice.
So,
All right, let me get my chart together. Pull this off. Oh, I put chart. All right, so here we go. Most of my lines are missing out of this because as we were doing the videos, I had to take a lot out. So we're just going to draw it real quick. So this is the SPY. This is what we're going to trade. This is the minute chart. So every candle is a representation of the minute. So we have our high of the day. We have our low of the day. We're going to just put our, so I can't see. We're going to put our support resistance lines and then get our trend line in there real quick. So I see, of course, we have the top high of the day at 398. And then we have the low at about 395. It's touched it a couple times, wick down and hit the low. So that's our channel. That's our main channel. It's going to be our movement. Now let's see where the momentum's at. So what we'll have to do is take from the high of the day. We'll draw a trend line on it. And I say this all the time. Your lines don't have to match up, right? They're patterns. You're never going to hit the top of something. You're never going to hit the bottom of something. All you got to do is hit what you see. If you can hit what you see, then it's yours to take. So I think that looks like a pretty good downtrend. We had a couple pops of the upside, but it wasn't able to stay. Got too separated from VWAP. Good thing about this is you can see every time we get stretched from VWAP, we got to come back to VWAP, or the VWAP's got to come back to us. You can see some forms of showing up. We have an inverse head and shoulder that showed up. We have a double bottom that showed up. We have a bull flag that set up and then it popped. So these are some good plays that we can find. So now we have our main level of a support and resistance here. We're going to look at some what our outs would be or what our ins would be for our puts and our calls today. So I'm going to be looking for some puts if it breaks 395.50. So at 395.49, I'm going to be looking to put some puts in if it cracks down to the bottom side. If it cracks to the upside, see my calls. I'd like to get past this level here, the 396.98. And the reason that is because we have all these touches right here. We have it touched in this area. We touched it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18 times I think it's touched. So for that to get there, it's going to need some volume to get past it. So if we get past it at 397, I would look to put a couple calls in and ride it to the upside. Now, if I'm putting that to the upside and my calls come in, where's my out? So my in is at 397.07. My out, first level out is going to be at 397.45.48. I just want that small channel right there just to see if I'm seeing the play. If it breaks out, then I'll just hold. I'll get out 50% here at 397, hold the rest of it. If it pulls back, then I'll just get back out at the 397. No harm, no foul, but we'll try to catch what we can. Again, if it goes to the bottom side and it cracks that 395.49, especially if it cracks this 395.46, I think we'll have a nice little drop. The area that I think it'll drop to though, let me zoom out a little bit on this. Let me put a 3-day up. All right, so that next leg down, I'm going to be looking back here in the past, and I can see we've hit some levels right here, and right here. So I'm just going to draw a line. There was my line. All right. Oops. There's my line. So that's my price action. If it hits that 395.49, I will put some puts in. My out is going to be 395.15. Again, if it goes past that, then it goes past that. My stop loss for this will be 395.56. So if it starts coming back up to the upside, I have my stop loss ready. And maybe throw some calls in there. And then on the top play, on the top side of the VWAP, we're looking to put some calls in at 397.07 again to write it out. If we have some calls and it starts to break the 396.98 and starts coming back down to the downside, that's where we'll have our stop losses in. If we go over to the daily real quick, kind of just see where we are. All right, so we're in a wild area right now. I know this is kind of hard to see because all those lines in there. So I'm gonna try to make it as big as possible. So you can see right here, the blue line is your 50-day moving average. That just means that's the price of it moving 50 days on average. This is the 13-day moving average, and this is the 200-day moving average. We just hit the 50-day. We had a nice resistance at 398, came back down and is testing this 395 area on the daily. If we crack this, especially if we crack the 13 at 394.61, we will definitely look to put some shorts in and see if we can ride it back down to the 390. But we'll have to see. Right now, we got to open up and see exactly where we're going to start the day off with this one, because right now we're at 395.95. So we're right at the bottom, right at kind of in the middle of this wick right now as far as volume. So I feel as if we're going to test that 13-day. And if we crack it, we'll go to the downside. If we bounce off of it, we'll see if we can get past that 50-day. But the market does not like the 398.92 at all. So it'll be interesting. So that's going to be my puts and my calls for the day as far as the SPY is concerned, man. The RSI is sitting at a 50, so we have room to run either way. We could go up or down with this. Right now, it's just moving sideways like we were talking about with the fear and greed. Between the 30 to 40, the market's trying to figure out what it wants to do, right? A lot of people's already left the market. Not a lot of people's coming back in the market. People are trying to figure out, are they going to go into Bitcoin? Are they going into gold and silver? Are they going into crypto? Because like April was saying, the dollar's not worth shit right now. And there's no way that I know that we're going to bring it back. So it's going to be some interesting times coming up, especially if they take us off the petrodollar. Trying to think what else, man. I think we read everything. I think that's a wrap, man. So that's it for today's Market in Minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and informative look into the financial markets. Remember to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis by visiting our site at our website at 3T Academy and following us on our social media. Big thank you to our host, Double Bottom Trades, for bringing you the best in trading strategies and techniques. Until next time.